Shalom, shalom. First and foremost, I want to send our praises to Yahweh, by Hashem, Yahushai, by Hashem, Wakakadash, Brakatah. Double honors to the apostles and elders of Great Millstone who rule well. Peace and salutations to the hopeful elect individual. This is your boy Isaiah coming at you with another lesson from the GMS Miami camp. And just going to let the spirit guide me, man. I just got through hanging out with the Akim tonight. And, man, we had a good time. It's very important that you chill with the Akim. You get to know each other, know how each other work, know how the other brother works, know what he likes, know what one brother likes, what he dislikes, And I really had a good time tonight, man. I hardly ever get out, and we didn't go out to celebrate. Today is so-called Thanksgiving, but we didn't go out to celebrate Thanksgiving. We just went out to have a good time, to chill, the vibe, and I had an awesome time, man, but I want to bring out some precepts, how it's good to hang around wise men, okay? Wise men who fear the Lord, wise men who have an understanding of the scriptures, wise men who have an understanding of the Hebrew, okay? It's very, very important that you hang around wise men, okay? And I'm going to tell you like this, the Akim that I'm around, I'm like the oldest brother in the camp. I'm 39 years old. Some of those brothers are like 21, 22, and they're teaching me things on how to live, okay? Now, when you come into this truth, man, if you are a older brother, you're going to have to take orders from younger brothers, and I mean, in my case, I have to do that, which I have no problem doing because, with me, I'm, some people have to explain stuff to me several times, and, people who are patient with me, I tend to gravitate to. So, if they're patient with me, they've been patient with me, so I kind of gravitate toward them, and it's a lot, but that's my thing. I gravitate towards wisdom. I don't care if you're younger than me. Shoot, you can be 5 or 6 years old. If you're teaching me something, I'm going to listen. You know what I mean? But first, I want to talk about. Let's talk about Luke 2:41. Okay, this right here, I was praying that I found this verse. I had to Google it, search for it, look for it, but. It talks about how Yahushua was among the doctors, and it says the midst of the doctors, in the temple. And I guess it says, let me start at, okay, this is Luke 2nd chapter, and let's start at the 45th verse. Well, let's start at the 44th verse. But they, supposing him to have been in company, went a day's journey, and they sought him among their kinsfolk and acquaintance. So, when Yahushua, Mary, and Joseph were traveling, Yahushua was busy doing his father's work, and Mary and Joseph didn't know that he left, okay? And when they, let me see. Okay, let me start at 43. Or 41. Let's start at 41. This is Luke 41, and we're just going to, go with the Spirit. Now, his parents were in Jerusalem every year at the feast of the Passover. And when he was 12 years old, talking about Yahushua, they went up to Jerusalem after the custom of the feast. And when they had fulfilled the days, as they returned, the child Yahushua tarried behind them in Jerusalem, and Joseph and his mother knew not of it. Okay? But they, supposing him to have been in company, went a day's journey, and they sought him among their kinsfolk and acquaintance. And when they found him not, they turned back to Jerusalem, seeking him. And it came to pass, after 3 days, they found him in the temple, sitting in the midst of doctors, both hearing them and asking them questions. And all that heard him were astonished at his understanding and answers. Okay, so when you get into the truth, man, just like Yahweh Shai, man, he was breaking things down to these doctors in these temples, man. You know, when you get into this truth, man, you gonna have young brothers that's gonna know this word inside and out. You know, and you have to take heed and listen. You know, you may have a brother younger than you who knows the scriptures and everything. You can't just be like, oh, I don't need to learn from you. You don't know what you're talking about. Oh, it's a lot. No, it don't work like that. It says it right here. Luke, the second chapter, 47th verse. You know, well, starting at 46, and it came to pass that after 3 days they found him in the temple, sitting in the midst of doctors, both hearing them and asking them questions. And all that heard him were astonished at his understanding and answers. So when you come into this camp, man, or if you just a person walking by on the street, if you're an older person, when you see a younger guy breaking out this truth, and you ask him a question and he brings out certain scriptures and precepts, listen to him. Listen to him. You know, this is a perfect example right here. How Yahweh Shai, as a young man, 12 years old, was in the temple. And it says, both hearing him, it says in verse 46, sitting in the midst of doctors, both hearing them and asking them questions. Verse 47, and all that heard him were astonished at his understanding. You know, some people, when they first come in, or like if it's just a regular 2/3 or heathen walking by the camp, you know, they hear these young men speak. Some of them just pass it by. You know, they be like, oh, well, he don't know what he's talking about. He has on a dress and, you know, curtain and all this bull crap. Nah, these brothers that are in GMS, you know, maybe not all brothers, but the majority know this truth, man. And the majority are young brothers. I mean, you have a few brothers that are up there in age, but the majority of these brothers are young, energetic, 20-something brothers, 20s in their 20s. It's a lot. And you got to take heed to what they're saying, man. You know, because the spirit. You know why? This is why you need to do it. Okay? Because I can prove it. This is the book of Acts. Okay, let's go to the book of Acts. And Acts 2:17. Okay, Acts 2:17. And it shall come to pass in the last days, saith Yahweh, I will pour out my spirit upon all flesh. And your sons and your daughters shall prophesy, and your young men shall see visions, and your old men shall see dreams. So it says, and it shall come to pass in the last days, saith Yahweh, I will pour out my spirit upon all flesh, and your sons and your daughters shall prophesy. Your sons and your daughters shall prophesy. Your young men, your young women shall prophesy. Mainly your young men. Okay? You know? That's what's happening now. That's how you know we're living in the last days, when those young brothers are out there on the highways and the hedges preaching this truth, man. Preaching this truth. Alright? Now it's up to you to soak it in and listen, and also do some of your research on this truth also. It's not going to just come by just by you'll learn some things by standing on the highways and the edges, but you're going to have to go into depth, okay? Go in depth. But my main focus is hey, you can be young and be wise too. Yahweh Shai was, see? He was 12 years old. You know, it says it right here. And when he was 12 years old, they went up to Jerusalem after the custom of feast. You know, and then you go further down, and it came to pass. I'm skipping to verse 46 now. In Luke 2nd chapter 46 verse. And it came to pass that after 3 days they found him in the temple, sitting in the midst of doctors, and both hearing them and asking them questions. And they and all that heard him were astonished at his understanding and answers. Booyah. You know what I'm saying? You know? So, you know, and you see this happening now. Like I said, in Acts 2nd chapter, 17 verse. And it should come to pass in the last days, Yahweh will pour out my spirit upon all flesh, and your sons and your daughters shall prophesy, and your young men shall see visions, and your old men shall dream dreams. You know, hey man, these brothers, man, they're having visions, they're prophesying, they're out there on the highways and the hedges, they're doing the will of the Heavenly Father. You know, a holy man is not gonna always be over 75 years old wearing nice garments. You know what I'm saying? Example, the Pope. Example, some of these bishops you have on TV. You know, we have one bishop down here. I think it's D.C. Curry, not D.C. Curry, Bishop Curry. D.C. Curry is a comedian. I got it cross-referenced with the other Curry that preaches, but Victor Curry, yeah, his name Victor Curry. He's a very popular bishop down here in Miami. You know, and they had a picture of him in fancy garments, you know, purple and gold and all that good stuff, man. It's crazy, man. Crazy. A bishop is not going to be an old man. I mean, it can be, but it's not going to just be old men. I'm sorry, Salat. Prophets, Salakia, I slip of the tongue, Salat. Prophets are not just going to be old men, you know. Prophets are going to be young men. Think about it. When you're a younger man, you have that energy. You know, when you're an older man, your testosterone goes down. You don't feel like doing nothing. You feel me? So I just wanted to share that with y'all, man. Not only old men are going to be wise. You're going to have some young brothers that are going to be wise. Take heed and listen. You know, I'm the oldest brother at the camp. I'm 39 years old, almost 40. And like I said, you got brothers in there that are like in their 20s, and they're over me. You know, you got to humble yourself as a child when you get in this thing. You feel me? All right. This is your boy Azar coming at you from the GMS Miami camp. Till next time, Shalom.